All right, joining me on Kumite TV during this live chat is Steve. Steve, introduce yourself, man. Like, tell us who you are.
Hi, John. Thank you for this opportunity. Yeah, my name is Steve. I am the co-founder of two MMA gyms in Indonesia. Yeah, the first one we opened Jakarta Muay Thai back in 2014, and the second one, yeah, we opened one in Bali. It's called Bali MMA in 2015. Yeah, but this is not really what I do. This is just like a hobby. So what I do every day, I'm in an investment sector, and yeah, we do like a few things like property, startups, and also mining. Yeah, so that's about it.
Well, it's a good hobby to have. It's a fun hobby, right?
Yeah, actually, it was all an accident. I have no martial arts background whatsoever. So the gym in Jakarta, it was started as a small private gym. So we had like an empty space in Jakarta, and me and my sister, we started just to do Muay Thai twice a week privately. Then our friends started to come, and then their friends started to come, right? So it grew from like 2 to 5 to 10 to 20, and I didn't charge anything back then, and it started to cost me my time and money, right? Because I had to hire a staff and a cleaner and all that. So yeah, we started charging, and yeah, it went on from there.
When did you decide, that this will be something that you wanted to continue doing? Because it takes time. Even though it's a hobby, it takes investment. It takes money. It takes your time, and you do have another
Yeah,
job. So what got
yeah.
you hooked?
It was a hobby in the beginning, right? But then it took a lot of my time and money after a month, and I started charging, you know, and there were like about 30 to 40 people, and then I realized, oh, I was actually making money from this. So, and then the coaches, they were like, oh yeah, can we open this to public? I was like, yeah, sure. So yeah, it was all an accident. I had no vision or anything like that.
Let's say months pass by, and the business is
Yeah,
going good, and
yeah.
then you know what what prompted you to just continue to do it? Because a lot of times people kind of get sick of it. Like they, especially in this sport, they just get sick of it and they just get tired of it, and there's many different reasons why. What made you continue and kind of grow the gym?
Yeah, so honestly, after about a year, this happened to everyone, right? I was like, oh, should I like keep going with this or should I stop? And one day we just started competing. This was after about a year, and we lost pretty much every single fight.
Hmm.
And it started to hurt my egos, right? I was like, why is this happening? Why are we losing? So I was looking for assistants here and there to help to train our team. And finally, I got connected to Andrew Leone, and we started talking. And somehow he was interested to move to Jakarta to train our team. So yeah, 3 months later, he moved to Indonesia to be with us. So
How
that
did you
yeah,
convince Andrew to move there? He's probably never been there in his life
yeah,
prior to
yeah,
that.
yeah. Yeah, the funny thing is like I think he Googled Indonesia, and then he looked at pictures of like surfing, beaches, and all that, right? But he had no clue that Jakarta is not like that. Jakarta is like it's not an easy place to live in. Yeah, so yeah, he just moved here and he asked me, "Where's the beach?" I was like, there is no beach here. You know, this is it. And then he was like, yeah, after 3 months, he couldn't take it anymore, and we went for holiday in Bali. And yeah, it was then that he came up with the idea to open a gym in Bali. So it wasn't really me; it was his idea to open in Bali. And I think that was in the beginning. Yeah, I mean, of course, he thought that it would be a great place to open a destination gym, but it was, I think it was kind of more for himself as well, you know, like, you know, he wanted to surf, he wanted the beach and all that. So yeah.
All right, let's go back to before Andrew Leone came. You know, how was
Yeah.
the Muay Thai scene at that time when you opened that gym?
It
Was it big
wasn't,
in Indonesia?
no, it was pretty small. It wasn't developed. It was just like, you know, a few small like home gyms, you know, sometimes they open gyms in their garage and all that. So it wasn't developed at all. There was very little competition. And yeah, I'm honestly, when you talk about Muay Thai in Jakarta, of course you have competition and all that, but then it's more to the fitness, you know, it's more to the fitness side. So people go there to lose weight and all that, not really to compete. It's kind of like, you know, it's not real Muay Thai that like in Thailand.
Well, you know, that's where the money is, though, isn't it? It's in the
Yeah,
fitness.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
not
yeah.
in the fighters.
Yeah. It is. It is. So I think about 90 in Jakarta now, about 90, I would say 98% of our clients, yeah, they go there just to exercise. And yeah, the rest, yeah, they compete here and there, but yeah, not much.
Did you expand Jakarta Muay Thai to many locations, or is it just one location?
Um, I was thinking to do that, but it's really difficult to find, you know, like qualified coaches in Jakarta, you know. And if you bring them all the way from Thailand, we have issues with the work visas. So you know what I mean? Yeah, we would like to expand, but there's we don't have enough resources here to try to expand.
All right, so you got that, you know, Jakarta Muay Thai going. Andrew Leone comes over. He visits Bali with you. He got an idea. You know, you are
Yeah.
keen to that idea. Now, once you guys have this idea, how do you guys kickstart? You know, getting this gym started, Bali MMA.
Yeah. So I think while in Bali, he called his brother Anthony, and he called his friend Donnie, Don Carlo Claus, and yeah, he was just promoting about Bali, this and that. And I went to Phuket after that a few weeks later to meet them, and they seemed very interested with the idea of opening a gym in Bali. And I think about a few weeks later, they all flew to Bali to, you know, to take a look at what Bali was like. And yeah, they all like Bali, and they wanted to move there and open their own gyms, because I think that, you know, they work back in Phuket Top Team, right? It was kind of their dream to open, you know, to open their own gym. So yeah.
When you guys went out there to look at land, was it, you know, was it just barren? Was there a lot of land out there that you could just open up a gym? Were there good locations? You know, what was some of the barriers?
I think the main issue was price, yeah, because you know, you have like hotels, you know, like big chains like Ritz-Carlton, Four Seasons, and all that. They're all coming in, so we had to compete with them, you know, and we didn't have the money like, you know, like them. So it was quite difficult to try to find a suitable land that is that was pretty close to the beach, because they all, you know, I don't know, somehow they like the beach so much, so it must be, you know, at least at most 10 minutes away from the beach. So we managed to find this old factory, and yeah, and we took that property and just renovate the whole thing.
How long did it take for you to get, you know, from buying the land, from finding, you know, finding the property, buying the land, and actually opening the place? How long did that take?
I think roughly about 6 months, because beside that we also had to set up a company, right? Set up company, tax ID, and all that. And since they are not from here, they're not Indonesian, so it took much longer than expected. and we had to open we had to open like a, what do you call it, a foreign owned company. So yeah, it took a lot of time for the licenses and the permits as well. Yeah, but roughly about 6 months.
Throughout those 6 months, like you said,
Yeah,
it took a little longer than normal. Was there
yeah.
any moments where you were like, oh, this might not work out,
It did. Yeah, there were many moments because they all flew to Bali, and it was quite new to them, right? So they had no ideas of their surroundings. And also, I don't live in Bali, I live in Jakarta. So they were there by themselves, and yeah, it took like, yeah, it was quite stressful. But yeah, we just kept going because you know we've we invested, right? So that we couldn't get out or anything like that.
In Bali, there's, it's a resort area. So
Yeah,
a lot of people speak English, which is an advantage when you go into a new area, right? Especially when you got guys that
yeah,
are coming in that are coaches that do
yeah,
speak English as their main language.
yeah.
How advantageous has that been for Bali MMA, to be in a location where most of the clients probably will speak the language?
Yeah, so 90% of our students, they are not Indonesian. Yeah, so this is one of our main advantages. We brought in some Thai trainers as well from Thailand to Bali, but it didn't work out so well. I think due to like communication problems, and they couldn't really adapt to the new environment. So yeah, it was quite a challenge with the Thai trainers, and we decided just to bring in like Australian, New Zealanders, or American, like very good kickboxing trainers. So yeah, so we're a bit different from Thailand. So we don't really compete with them. You know what I mean? We do more like kickboxing and like MMA, striking, and all that. So yeah.
Well, that all, worked out for you guys, and you guys open your doors. What day did you actually open the doors of Bali MMA?
And 2015, I think. I
Mm-hmm.
don't I don't remember the month because because we kind of like opened halfway, and we it was like it wasn't quite done yet when we opened, and we had like people coming from Australia, and then they came to Bali, and they were like, whoa, there is no mats, how we even gonna train here? I was like, okay, okay, just give us a week and we'll try to fix this. Yeah, so like it wasn't even ready when people started coming. They flew in from Australia, from New Zealand, and all that, and yeah, it was quite rough in the first week. We panicked so much.
You said that people are flying in before the gym was actually fully open. Like, were
Yeah,
these the coaches, the fighters, or were these people that were your clients?
these are coaches and fighters.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Somehow they had the idea that we were ready, uh, that we were open, and I think they asked one of us. Um, I don't remember who. They asked, "Oh, is the gym open?" And then he said, "Oh yeah, we'll be open in a few days." And then a week later, they turned up to our gym, and we were like, "Whoa, we're not we're not we're not even ready for this."
So, describe to me, like, what was it like? The first couple weeks of the gym opening. With people showing up, but it's not fully open. How stressful, how hectic was it to kind of have to deal with these people that were there, they kind of had a preconceived notion of what they were getting into, but when they landed, it wasn't what they thought.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was very hectic. Uh, we felt bad, so we didn't charge anything, I think. And it was kind of our first experience, right, of like opening a gym of this size. Jakarta Muay Thai, It's, you know, it's much smaller compared to Bali MMA. And with the other guys, yeah, they work at Phuket Top Team before, but they work as coaches, right? So now the challenge, you know, we have more challenges. It's just way bigger than what we all used to. So yeah, but then, you know, people were quite nice. You know, like they understood that this was the first few weeks, and they just supported us, and yeah, they're okay with it. They ended up, I don't know, going to the beach, you know, surfing and all that. So yeah, they were quite supportive.
How long did it take for you guys to kind of get the wheels turning and be, in a way, comfortable with what was going on at the gym? You know, after the the rough start, because whenever there's a
Yeah,
rough start, it only gets better, right?
yeah. I think I would say about 6 months, because we also had problems bringing in zebra mats from the US. So many of our stuff are imported. So we had a lot of problems at the port, because we had to bring all these things in, you know, like Fairtex from Thailand, zebra mats from the US, and a lot of other stuff. So yeah, that took a while as well, and it took a lot of effort because you had to have licenses to import. So yeah, I think about 6 months, you know, we were good.
So you guys got rolling after 6 months. When did you guys start
Yeah.
to put together the fight team? Was that something that you guys had in mind already before you opened the doors, or did it take a while for you to kind of put everything together?
Yeah. So our idea, right? Um, the idea of Bali MMA is like to create the best, one of the best destination gyms in Asia, and also to provide opportunities for local fighters to train alongside world-class athletes, and to also promote these local guys to the global stage. So I would say Bali MMA is like when you combine a destination gym like Tiger Muay Thai, and you put them together with Team Lakai, then you have Bali MMA, you know. It's I would say it's a world-class destination gym that is also promoting local talents. You know, we want to produce both international and local champions. So that's yeah, that's the idea of Bali MMA. The early challenge of Bali MMA was we didn't have a lot of income in the beginning, right? But at the same time, we want to create a very strong fight team, which is expensive, you know. So the idea was to make sure that the business was able to sustain the fight team with the moderate income that we had in the beginning. So yeah, we just kept going, and luckily, after about a year, we were able to achieve high profits and also quite a strong fight team.
Well, after a year, that's pretty incredible for a new
Yeah,
business to be able to do that.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, it was yeah, we were quite lucky. They all worked really hard in Bali, and yeah, I think after about a year, we've had our team compete for the UFC, one championship, Bellator, Brave, and one global, and a few other promotions.
Now, of course, you're working hard on your side. You know the business, you know the country, and then you
Yeah.
got the Leone brothers, taking care of the fight team. How pivotal have they been for you to grow this gym, to grow this destination, this team?
Well, to be honest with you, um, we have quite an interesting team, right? All different personalities. Andrew is like, he's like the nice and happy guy who brings like good energy to the gym every morning, right? And then you have Donnie. He could be mean sometimes, you know. He's like the bulldog of our gym, you know. Some people don't like him sometimes because he makes sure that the discipline is there and everything is running properly, so he's there to make sure. And then we have Anthony. He's quite stingy, so he's great at money management, and he's taking care of all the spending. And yeah, and then me, I'm just here to make sure that they don't fight each other and making sure that we are in the right direction. But honestly, I don't do so much. But yeah, it's like mostly them. Yeah, about back to your question. Yeah, they've been very essential to the team. Um, I think not about it training wise. All gyms have like good training and all that, right? But I think what's special about our gym is, we have this family vibe. Um, you know, we are very family friendly. So I mean, the vibe is amazing. We have this family like culture where everyone is there to improve themselves, and we even have like people from overseas who's willing like to take pay cuts, so that they could be part of our team. For example, this guy, he's a former world champ. He was even planning to sell his gym back home, and move his family over to Bali to be with us, you know. But then, yeah, I told him like, wait, you need to think about it like properly before like making this big step, right? So yeah, I mean, I think this is what's special about our gym. You don't feel you are in an MMA gym because you always have like kids running around. You have like fighters taking care of your kids while you're busy training. So it is quite a different feeling from your like typical MMA gym. And in turn, these factors really create the right vibe for the fighters to stay like relaxed and completely focused for training. So I think this is our main advantage compared to the other gyms. And this is really what actually pulled people in. Besides the great training, it's also this family-like feeling that you have inside the gym.
Also, I think that since they have been there since the beginning, and they're very invested in, it's a part of them. It's kind of like your guys'
Yeah,
child, that you guys
yeah,
birthed all together at the same time. So
yeah,
it's beautiful to see that you guys did it all together from the beginning, and you guys are still
mhm,
together, and you guys are
yeah,
succeeding, and you guys are basically cornering the market in Indonesia. And there's
yeah,
no, it's not a bad thing, because eventually someone's going to come along and give you some competition. Do you welcome
yeah,
some competition? I think that will be good, right, for
yeah,
the
yeah,
sport and for the
yeah,
Bali.
yeah. Of course, because we're using a lot of like foreign coaches, foreign fighters, so payroll is quite high, and of course we would welcome like anyone to come in. Maybe they can charge like a lower fees to because the market is so big, because now we're going for the, what do you call it, for the expensive market, the the middle market and the lower market, they're all still there. So you know so the market is big, and competition is always good, right? Because the demand is there. I mean, if you bring in like a big team from the US or something like that, yeah, of course we would welcome that, because that would improve ourselves as well. We can cross train, we can like hang out with them, we can talk to them and also learn from them. So it's yeah, we would welcome that.
Now, I've heard that you guys are going to open a second location. Could you reveal some information about that? Where it is, maybe? Like who would probably be in charge? I don't know. Like, can you talk about that a little bit to us? What you can reveal?
Yeah, it is honestly, it is still quite raw. um, the main reason is that we don't have enough capacity at the moment in our current location. We have too many students in all of our classes. which is great because at the moment, just to reveal, our revenues are actually much higher than many of the mainstream gyms in the country. So from a business side point of view, yeah, Bali MMA is a very attractive investment. We have like many offers for franchising. So yeah, expansion is definitely an option, but we'll see. Yeah, because that means we would need to split our team, right? And I don't even know if they want to split. They love each other so much. They grew up together for like, I don't know, for like 10, 15 years. So yeah, we'll need to see about that. And yeah, also recruitment wouldn't be easy because we want to keep this family like culture in our gym. And so we really need to find the right person, someone with not too much ego and craziness in the gym, because we don't want to ruin everything that we've built so far. So yeah, I mean, of course, every now and then you have like crazy looking guy you know visit us, but usually after 1 2 days, they 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 just don't like us too much, because they say like, oh, why are they like kids running around? Why do you have a like Ninja Turtle here? Why do you have a fat Buddha there? They just, it's just, I don't know, they just don't like it. So usually they just leave. But yeah, that's what our main goal is to have this family like feeling in the gym.
Yeah, because you do see, that a lot of gyms, they have guys come in for like a year, six
Yeah,
months, 2 years and coach, and then they leave and then you never see them again.
yeah,
But
yeah.
you do have a core group that has been there and that has been invested. And it's hard to find that. So you got to keep that together, as much as possible, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much that way around, like with us, when they come in, they bring in their whole family, you know what I mean? They bring in their brother, they bring in their sister, they bring their wife, their kids. So yeah, it's a bit different from the other gyms. Like with the other gyms, most of them are single, right? Like single guys or single. So they stay there for a year and then they leave. With us, it's a bit different. They come, and after a few months, they bring in their family to Bali. So yeah, so that's why we have this family-like feeling in the gym.
How do you see the market going in Bali, with these gyms? And of course, eventually more gyms will pop up. Do you see that as it becoming something like Phuket, like the soy in Phuket, or do you think that will probably never happen?
Um, Maybe not as big, yeah, because Thailand, um, they have Muay Thai roots, right? Bali, we don't have that. It's just it's just like it's just a destination. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure. I mean, like in Jakarta, for example, as soon as we open, within 2 years, I think there were at least 20 to 25 other gyms open just like that. But then, I think many of them, um, they weren't so prepared. So I think about 80% of those gyms, they're all closed down now. So um, so I think there is not. It's completely fine to have like new gyms coming, because then you have a lot more friends and you can create a competition in Bali. And the levels should be higher because you have all different gyms. So I think it's good for everyone. It's not really a bad thing or anything like that.
One championship, they've been
Mhm.
having, a few events a year for the past couple of years, it seems, in Indonesia. How helpful have they been in growing the sport and even, growing your gym a little bit, because it does attract some attention,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yes. So they helped us a lot. Like when I asked you that, I asked for assistance here and there, um, mostly with one championship, and they introduced me to like a lot of guys. And yeah, but then back then, yeah, I mean, I still think the same. Andrew was our best bet. So yeah, One Championship started. Their first event was back in 2011, I think. It was a small venue. It wasn't so big. But then if you come now, their venue is like, the biggest venue, and it's always full. It's hard to get tickets. So the market has been growing like um, great, and they're also live in TV now. I know TV rating is great in TV. I think it's second or third in the country when One Championship is in TV. So yeah, it's such a big step.
Do you go to most of the events because you do have your fighters fighting on them most of the time, right?
Yeah, of course, and it's only like 3 minutes away from my house. So I always go there. I go there in the morning. I give them food, and then I go home. I have my lunch, and then I go there again. So yeah, I always go.
What are your your emotions like when you see guys from your gym that you created with with the other guys and fighting and succeeding in One Championship, because One Championship is considered one of the top promotions in the world, but you guys did it in such a short period of time.
Yeah, of course we're very proud of them, and we're very very proud of our team because as I told you, within a year we were able to put guys and One Championship and all the other big promotions. So far since 2015, we've had Tiffany Francis. She won her Glory title and Lion Muay Thai, and we had Jingnan. She won her One Championship title last year, and we also have a lot of guys fighting for the challenging for the titles. And those two guys, many of them, they fight for this. It's called One Pride. So yeah, the current flyweight champion, he's with us, and we have two other guys fighting for the title next month. We also have Nyreen from New Zealand. She'll be fighting. She'll fight for the world title next month in Brisbane, Australia. ISKA Muay Thai. So yeah, it's been busy. You know, progress has been better than what we initially thought. So yeah, we're very proud of the team and the fighters as well.
Jinnan, her last fight in Japan was one of the craziest fights, in recent history for the promotion. I believe incredible comeback after that submission that she got out of, and most people don't know how she even got out of that, but she didn't come back and to knock her out I think in the fifth round, right? Were you there or were you watching from afar?
Sorry, you're breaking a bit.
Oh,
Can
am
you
I?
repeat
Okay.
the question?
Yeah. Jinnan, right? Her
Yeah,
last
yeah,
fight in Japan. Um,
yeah. That
it
was
was one of the
crazy.
craziest fights. She came back in the fifth
Yeah,
round and got the
yeah,
knockout. A
yeah,
lot of people counted her out. I believe a lot of people did. A lot of people, they were kind of mesmerized by Angela Lee, but
yeah.
Jinnan went in there and she put the stop to the hype train. How proud of you were you? How proud of her were you?
We were so proud of her, because you see that in run four, you know, I mean, everyone would have tapped, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then, she didn't. I mean, we see her every day. Um, we knew that she had a good chance of beating Angela Lee. Um, Technically, she is pretty good, right? But I think what's important is like she has the courage and the heart. She just doesn't give up. Like in training, you see her like every morning she's there first, and then when people go home, she spend like extra time for training. You know what I mean? So I think all this little her work rate is, is just, up there. So we knew, like, she had a good chance of, of defeating Angela Lee. But then, yeah, honestly, I thought in run four, that was it. I mean, it was crazy, right? I mean, I wouldn't do that. I know you wouldn't do that, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, we just tapped, right? It was, yes. So she just doesn't give up. And yeah, I mean, like, you see her in the cage, she looks mean, fierce. But then, like, when you see her around the gym, she's like the nicest, she's the nicest person in the gym. Like, when you bring in your kids or your babies, and you want to train, she would like be there after her training just to take care of like kids and babies. So, it's yeah, it's a bit different, like, inside the cage and outside the cage.
Man, you guys have done some incredible things in the past couple of years. I've been watching you guys, and it's fun to watch. And now with the business side of things, you said it's in the initial stages. It's kind of like you're just thinking about it. But
Yeah.
if you do open something up, do you think it's gonna be this year?
um I don't think so, yeah,
Mm.
because we're still trying. We want to open when we're at our strongest, and I feel we we have a good chance of like growing more this year. um yeah, maybe next year.
Well, that
And
sounds
I
good, man. Because you guys are riding the wave, and the wave is real high right now. So
yeah, and
continue with
yeah,
that, right?
yeah, and we're quite lucky, right? Because Indonesia is so big, you know 220 million people live here,
Mm.
so there are 31 provinces, so you can open in like other cities, other big cities. So yeah, I mean, the demand is there, the potential is there, but we just wanna, keep Bali MMA as strong as possible before expanding, because we don't want to expand and then, you know what I mean, compromise in our quality, right?
Mm.
So we want to make sure that, for example, now we have like two striking coaches. We would need to add up to four striking coaches, you know what I mean? And from the four, we would split that. We don't want to have like the two we have now and just split them and then, find someone else for those. So we don't want that. We just want to make sure that we double our staff first, and after that, we'll expand.
Other than Jakarta and Bali,
Hmm.
because to be honest with you, that's the only two locations I know of
Yeah.
in Indonesia. What other locations are there that is could possibly produce a champion? What cities out there in Indonesia?
Well, I mean, surrounding Jakarta, you have like a lot of like big cities as well.
Mm.
It's like New York, you have Manhattan, right? But then, around Manhattan, you also have like a lot of, you have Long Island, you have like all the other places. So yes, surrounding Jakarta would be great. And then you have Surabaya, you have Medan, and also if you notice, there is this local promotion. It's called One Pride.
Mm.
So they have fighters from pretty much every city. And then, yeah, I mean, like when one, let's say our guy, his name is Wadi, right? When he fights, he brings in like 5,000 supporters, you know. So it's pretty crazy. So, they're quite fanatics to their fighter from their city. So yeah, this is the potential is definitely there.
How big is One Pride in Indonesia? Is it bigger than even like the UFC? Because everybody considers the UFC just the biggest promotion around the world. But is One Pride for Indonesians, is that bigger?
Um, Indonesian, they are more exposed to One Pride than you mean than UFC or One FC? UFC, right? Than
Yeah.
UFC. Because One Pride, they're there every weekend. You know, like you just see them. Like Saturday night, you turn on the TV, and One Pride is there. And then somehow many of these guys, they feel related. Let's say if you're from Bali, and then fighters from Bali, a fighter from Bali there. So I don't know. Somehow they feel the connection, and they really support whoever from their hometown. And then after that, after the fight, One Pride put their video on YouTube, and then you see like thousands of comments. So it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I think that's crucial for the growth of a sport, is to have people that support, a fighter from their hometown, even though they might not even watch fighting that much, but just because
Yeah,
the guy is from where they live, they want to support them. And I think that's huge, and Indonesia has that with One Pride.
yeah, definitely. I don't know. They feel, I don't know. They feel this connection with that fighter from their hometown.
Do you have any fighters that you have connections with from your hometown?
Not really, because not so many fighters from Jakarta. I just feel connected with our own fighters from
Mhm.
from our gym. Yeah, and most of them, they're also from my hometown. So yeah, of course I feel connected. I mean, I talk to them, quite often, and then sometimes they call me when they have problems. They call me. Yeah, so of course you feel very invested, right? You feel like they're like your younger siblings, and then when they lose, it really hurts. Sometimes like I had trouble sleeping when they lost a fight, because you felt it, right? And then when after fight they came in, and then you see like bruises everywhere. You just felt you know you felt bad.
Oh, definitely. It's a part of you out there, fighting too. I
Yeah,
think when you're so invested in the team and in the people that are fighting for you, and yeah, man. It seems like you're doing your part in growing the sport, and especially in your country. And I always believe Asian MMA is still growing, even though it is the birthplace of martial arts.
yeah.
Still, MMA is growing right now, and Indonesia's is becoming a hot spot, and you're one of the guys pushing it forward. And and it's great to talk with you and pick your brain and learn, because I'm learning every day about the sport, even in Asia. And you taught me a lot of things today about Indonesia. Thank you so much for your time, Steve, and good
Thank you
luck
so much.
on you know this year and 10, 15, 20 more years in this sport, and growing it in Asia, and probably spreading it out to other countries too, man.
Okay, thank you so much for this opportunity. Hope we'll send you an invitation next year when we're opening our own gym. Have you been to our gym?
No, I've never even been to Indonesia.
Okay. You should come.
Oh, definitely.
We'll take care
That's
of
one of
you.
the spots I need to go to, is to check out Bali MMA. It's on the list.
Thank you so much.
All right, man. Well, I'll talk to you, I guess, you know, maybe when it opens.
Okay. Take care. Bye bye.
All right.